He's going to thrive if he provides a soft life for his woman.
There's a study that says when a man gets married to a woman, his life is longer.
Welcome to Date, Affirm, The Real, our live podcast talking about today's relationships and its effects on us all. Please welcome our hosts, Keya McLean, the poet, and Shimeka, the dog therapist. Let's get real.
What up?
Yeah, everybody.
How y'all be tonight?
Yay.
What y'all got going on tonight? What it do? Happy Tuesday, y'all. Hope everybody's having a fantastic week so far. Hope all is going well.
Yes.
I am Keya McLean, the poet. And if you know anything, you already know who that is.
Me, it says it right there on the thing, right there. Shimeka Arnold, the therapist.
Boom. And guess what? That's my beautiful cousin. Yay. That's my cousin. So tonight's episode, it might make you clutch not your pearls, but might make you clutch your phone or your tablet or your laptop. You know, you might be like, ooh, let me clutch my stuff. I may need to be reevaluating some things. Okay. I might need to reevaluate some things. But here, if you're new to Date, Affirm, The Real, let me introduce you. This keeps us on task because guess what happens when me and that one get together? Oh, we can talk.
Man.
And sometimes we literally forget that we're doing a podcast. We think we just talking to each other. So, yeah. So we can kind of talk a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm going to turn this thing on over so we can respect the time.
Right.
Because, you know, me and my cousin, we get together and we just get to chatting and talking.
We
and,
do.
It'd be a whole vibe. And,
I love it.
Yeah, that's what we kind of do sometimes. So tonight's topic is, do you really like this person? Or do you just hate being alone?
I'd rather just be with, having a piece of man is better than having no man at all. I could just take
You heard that, ain't you? You heard that, ain't you? We all heard that saying before. I'd rather have a piece of a man.
A piece of a man.
I'd take him married.
You can have a piece of my life.
I'd take him in a relationship.
Waiting.
I'd take him unavailable. I just want a man. We've been there, right? We've been there. Either we've been there or we there. Which one are you? Or are you trying to go there?
Right.
You might not want to go there after this conversation tonight. We may have just deterred you from some bullshit.
I don't know. I don't know.
That's the goal, for you to not do no bullshit.
Right.
I'm going to help you by sharing my business so you won't make the same mistake. Okay? Don't do it.
Some people, though, cousin, got to learn from experience.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes.
So there are those people, and then there are the people like, my husband and I, we have these conversations where we kind of learn a few things about each other from the past, right? So I was the type of child that quite frequently got my ass tore up, right? And, you would think after a couple of times, you'd be like, oh, okay, I don't really kind of want that no more. But not me.
I could take it.
But not me. I wasn't that kid. Now, as he described to me, no. He ain't want no parts of that. So he learned from watching his older siblings.
That's smart.
Now, that's why I share, because every now and then there's one or two people that learn.
But you're the oldest.
I am the oldest.
You have to be the one to do it.
But I don't think it mattered. I don't really think it mattered. I think I just kind of got that type of personality.
Okay.
I ain't even gonna blame it on that, right? Sometimes we try to lean on other stuff, be like, that's the reason.
No.
Mm-hmm. The reason why I got my ass whooped a lot was because I just didn't care.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I remember.
You remember.
I was like, we got to fight? Okay. I think we got to fight. I think cousin gonna get us in a fight today. Oh, we're gonna get beat up.
Not with me, you wouldn't. So the thing is, I did not learn, but as I talked to my husband, and I ain't get whoopings like that. Like, there are just amazing people like you in the world. You know, there's other people like my husband who ain't never got whoopings because they learned their lesson, or only got one or two. They was like, yeah, that's all I needed. I'm good.
Yeah.
So as we share these stories, it might be one or two people that be like, yeah, I don't really want to go through that. Yeah, I'm digging what they saying.
Hopefully.
Yeah, I'm holding out for at least one or two.
One or two.
Don't own it. At least one or two, right? I think most of us have to experience it on our own, right? We just got to go through it. So the question, the first question of the night is, have you connected with somebody on this very surface level aspect, and then you made it a deeper connection? So have you met somebody and you may have connected with them like, hey, you like red? I like red too. Hey, you like Red Lobster? I like Red Lobster too. We go together. Have you done that before? Because I've done that stupid shit. Let's talk about it. Those are called situationships. You get into those just, because you were in a situation that joined you all together. It was situational, right? It joined you all together for some reason. This can even happen. A lot of things that we talk about overlap in friendships too. This can happen in developing a friendship too. You can just be in the same proximity and you have a conversation and you find, oh, we got 1, 2, 3 things in common. Oh, we friends now. And we get into these connections with people haphazardly without really doing our due diligence to be like, hey, is this really?
And pay attention first.
We got to pay attention. So I'm going to talk about some signs, and then cousin's going to follow right behind me, but some signs that you're dating loneliness rather than a person. Oh, y'all got some paper and pen tonight because we going in. You feel bored, irritable, or emotionally disconnected. Because all y'all had in common was y'all both like red and y'all both like Red Lobster.
Right.
That's all y'all had in common.
That's it.
And then y'all made it a whole situationship. Oh, and then y'all might like each other in bed. But outside of that.
That'd be the main. I think that's the main, like, oh, you got a blue shirt, I got a blue shirt, let's have sex. Oh, the sex was good, I'm staying with you.
Go on and cook, cousin, while I pour my tea.
Look at how cute the tea. Let me see that again. It look like a fairy tea set.
My friend Tanya got this for me.
It's so pretty.
Ain't it pretty, girl?
It's so pretty.
Ain't it so pretty? As I pour the tea.
We in the middle of podcast. Okay. So sometimes we think, my daddy told me one time. Can I say this? And if they watch it, if they see it, it is what it is. He said, I said, why you with them? And he said, you know what they say about crazy women? And I was like, no, what do they say?
They got the good.
That's why you in this situation right now.
Take ownership, cousin Steve. That's all I'm gonna say. Because you might see this at some point. You ain't finna get me.
He don't take ownership.
I ain't say nothing, cousin Steve.
He don't take ownership.
I ain't say nothing, cousin Steve. That was your daughter. I ain't getting in that one. You ain't getting me in trouble.
I was like, I guess that's what's more important than Sanity. Okay. I mean, I've been. Okay. Now I ain't.
We've been there though. We've been there.
I ain't gonna lie. Right. I ain't gonna lie.
We learned to it for them.
I've been there.
Didn't we learn to it from them?
Right. I can blame him. Yay. Thanks, cousin. I don't have to take ownership either. Yay. I got it.
That is not what I said, cousin. That is not. Rewind.
Not my fault.
Rewind. That is not.
Oh, it ain't my fault. Did I do that? It ain't my fault.
What Don say? Yeah, what do they say? The good.
Yep. Good. Yep.
They like a good crazy one, boy. They like a
crazy
good
one.
crazy
Got some good.
Okay, so look, I'm gonna go. We got 3 more on the list, and then I'm gonna have you speak on those notes.
Okay.
So you're doing all the emotional labor. So like you feel like you're the one that's like, let's talk. You're the one that's like trying to put in effort into this situationship that you know is a situationship.
Right.
You constantly seek external validation from them. And you fantasize about being loved more than you enjoy them. So you fantasize about the love because it's the fairy tale, and
idealize it. It's like you idealize, and it's not even them. Like that's not. Yeah, in your head you be like, and then you see him, and then it don't be nothing like it was in your head. I remember that.
So that's the part where them notes come in.
The notes you gave me?
The first set.
Let me see. I got my phone on Instagram. Let me see. Let me go with my notes. Because Keya, you have my back. Loneliness triggers our survival brain. Especially after the betrayal. The survival brain. So, you know, and then because I was thinking too when you were talking about when you said one of the things you said, and I was thinking like you feel like you have to fight for you, like prove something too. It's like I have to prove that I'm, because you said you're the one that's like, sit down, let's have the conversation. Let's sit down. You're the one trying to make the relationship like in your head, what's in your head.
Yeah.
You the one fight, you know, and then so you come back looking like tired. Again, you're on survival mode because you're trying to keep this relationship surviving.
Yeah.
And you're the one stressed out and tired, and they just do what they do.
And it's not even really a relationship, right?
It is. So, it's just not a healthy one.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely a relationship, but it's not a healthy one.
Okay.
Yeah, because you know we say other terminology, but really we are in a relationship with this person, but it's not a healthy relationship. So
that's true.
And you living in your head, not in the reality, you know, of what it really is. And so betrayal and grief. Wait, because you said loneliness triggers our survival brain after betrayal or grief.
Yep.
So now you just trying to jump into something. Just like what's the saying when they say the best way to get over something is to get under somebody. And you just getting back under a situation that's the same one that you was in before. So
because it's the loneliness that's prompting that. Right. And so what we're gonna go into, we're gonna go into the what you can do instead of that next. But right now we're just kind of sitting with what kind of happens as a result of you going into it.
Yeah.
And it really is an emotional toll on you to try to carry a relationship that
you care by yourself.
Yeah.
That you care by yourself. And then we talk about betrayal, like somebody who's that's constantly, you know. I was just watching this TikTok. It was a TikTok or Instagram, and they were playing a prank on the girlfriend. So it was the best friend and it was the boyfriend, and the best friend and the boyfriend had went in the car in girl's car to go get some food, and she yelling like, cause he got on FaceTime. He was like, no, we just gonna get your food. He was like, y'all just get in the car together. She's like, we friends. That's my friend. And I was like, she worked herself up, because when they put him back in front of the house, like she rolled down the window, like she was mad, you know. And I was like, what kind of man is that to have his girlfriend escalate and you know, make her feel like that? Mm-hmm. That's a horrible feeling. Like to pretend like, and then it's your best, and it's like a good friend of yours, and you guys are pranking. You guys are pranking. That's a horrible, like that's not even a good friend. That's not a good friend, and that's not a good man. And anybody that creates that in you, that creates that, what's that feeling like, and then you obsessively think about them, because you're like, I hope they're not doing something. I hope they're not. I hope they're not. You know.
So they're creating anxiety in you.
Yes.
But they call themselves loving you and caring about you.
Right. And so that's one of the signs. Like if you're having more anxiety than joy in the relationship, you know, if you're constantly having to, I don't know, fight for something that somebody else not fighting for. And the thing is that when you know your value and you know your worth, you don't have to do that. But definitely anxiety, obsessive thinking, intrusive thoughts. You get intrusive thoughts because then you're like, wait, where's, you know, let me check my phone. Let me see. He ain't said nothing to me.
I think that it's also something that we constantly talk about as well, which is there are so many things that we were not taught that led to us doing this work now, because we grew up without tools. We grew up without the best examples. We grew up in fight or flight mode. We grew up kind of doing a lot of things on our own, especially like the Gen Xers. You know, we had to do a lot of things independently without any real guidance, right? We got in trouble for stuff after the fact, but there was no true guidance, at least like for me. I'm just going to speak for myself. For me, it was after the fact, I recognized, oh, that was wrong.
That was wrong.
But I didn't know beforehand. But by the time I found out it was wrong, it became a characteristic. It became something that I had become accustomed to doing or believing, or just kind of navigating through life, because it's something that I did for a long time without any true guidance.
Right. So, but then there was guidance, though. The guidance is your parents.
Yeah.
The guidance is definitely your parents. So so it's interesting because we got in trouble for doing things that our parents did.
Yeah.
But because we were children, we weren't supposed to do that. But our parents, like, because I remember things I've done that like lying. I get in trouble for lying, but let somebody call the house and my dad said, tell them I'm not here. It wasn't considered lying. Yeah. It wasn't lying, but it was lying. Yeah. You know? And so we have perfect examples of poor behavior.
That's true.
And so parents would say, do what I say, not what I do. That is not how that works.
Yeah.
That's not how that works. Children are watching you, even when you don't think they are watching you. I knew where my dad's weed stash was. I look back, think back, because he said, I found his stash. He told me when I was a kid, I found his stash. Apparently, I was paying attention and watching.
Yeah.
So
that's true.
We definitely are good observers.
Yeah. If nothing else, huh?
We good observers, boy.
We watched and saw it. I think also for me, Don said, say it again for those in the back. We did what we saw. Yeah.
For real.
Like one of the things that is like, when I looked back on this, as I was thinking about this particular topic, I thought about, so one of the things is, that I came to the conclusion of is alone time to some people feels like a punishment. Because like as a kid, when I got in trouble, the punishment was go to your room by yourself, right? that was punishment for me because I'm like, I like to talk, I like to play, I like to do this, I like to do that. Like, why I got to be by myself? Now, what that taught me though, subconsciously, was that being alone
is a bad thing.
Was a bad thing, and you don't think about it.
Keya.
You don't think about it, but it came to me as I was putting notes together for tonight. Alone time was a punishment. So when I grew up, like I remember you saying this to me years ago. Years ago, you said, you fill all your time up, cousin. You fill all your time up. You're always on the move. You're always going. You're always doing your, and my regular therapist, you know, you really my backup therapist, but my regular therapist, who I was giving coins to, said the same thing. Should have just gave you all the coins all along.
It's illegal. It's unethical.
But I'm just playing, y'all, on the internet. I'm just playing.
Right.
But no, actually, you said that to me. And I remember like my therapist had already said that to me. And I was like, no, I didn't really see it as a bad thing. Like I had been so used to filling my time up because as a kid, my mom would put me on 30-day, 60-day punishments of being by myself. Like, especially like if it was summertime, she would do that to me. Like,
that's what I'm not playing.
Like, you got to be in the room by yourself, right? Or even like a spring break or something, you know, a long break. She would do that.
Wow.
And so alone time was always connected to punishment. Yeah. So we grow up thinking that if we're alone, that's punishing.
Dang, that's good, Keya. That's good. Man. I also when you said survival mode, you know, too, we sometimes we have to fill our time up with noise or something because of trauma.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to sit and remember any of that trauma. And so I remember like, because some ADHD symptoms could be forms from trauma. And so some of the symptoms I had was like, okay, I'm on the phone. I got to talk to somebody. I got to put some, you know, I got to always be hearing something. I got to hear the TV playing. I got to.
Yep.
So I couldn't be alone because I need to hear somebody talking to me. I couldn't sit still.
And so it made me think. So this was something that I thought about some months ago, and I wrote it in my journal. And I'll share it with you all. And I said, I wonder if, because people have always classified me as a social butterfly. And I said in my journal entry, I wonder if I was truly a social butterfly or if I was escaping always. Right? Like I just ended up escaping always and being around people and talking to people and, you know, being out all the time and constantly doing something had me in a space where I didn't have to concentrate on thinking, feeling, any of those things because
the thoughts anyway was the negative self-talk.
Yeah.
I'm not good enough. Why don't people, you know, why am I in the room full of people feeling lonely?
Yeah. And that's how you end up like with that imposter syndrome. You end up because you're mimicking several different people around you, right? So you see that person do this, then you do it. You see that person do this, then you do that. And but I really wasn't taught how to be alone in a healthy way, right? Even though, like for me, you know, my aunt was a librarian. This is how I became so enthralled in books and reading and writing. My aunt was a librarian, my great aunt, and she was married to my great uncle, my grandmother's brother. She was married to him. And during the summer when we would stay with my grandparents, my grandmother was working and she would have us go to the library. So we went to the library 5 days a week.
Wow.
All day long. I'm not kidding. We were at the library from 8 to 5. So I spent a lot of time reading. I spent a lot of time writing. I spent a lot of time in that space. However, that even wasn't punishment to me. I just thought, I'm learning, I'm reading, I'm engaged. But it was that alone time where she would take my books, because she knew that books made me happy. She knew that I enjoyed reading. So that was part of my punishment. Just sitting alone. No music, no books,
Wow.
like nothing, right? But I had a pen and a paper. I always had a pen and a paper. And I would hide it. Like I would hide it under my bed. I would have something because I knew she would take it.
Wow.
Right? So I had something that I could at least turn to. But the point of that is sometimes you don't know how to be alone because you weren't taught how to be alone in a healthy way.
Right. I love
so
that.
It's not necessarily your fault that you don't know how to be alone. And this is why you have to either rebuild or build a connection with yourself. You haven't been taught to connect with yourself.
Right. And it's going to be uncomfortable in the beginning because that's not what you're used to. So it's going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel like people are watching you. Nobody's watching you. Nobody paying attention to you. I remember when I first started doing that, like and it was consciously, I said, I want to, take myself out, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start at Starbucks. And it was weird at first because, I'm like, what do? I'm just sitting here. Like I just look stupid. I'm just sitting here, right? Okay, so I got a little journal, whatever, to make it look like I was writing, whatever. But eventually, shoot, I just, and then but it was uncomfortable in the very beginning. I just had to keep on doing it.
Yeah.
To get comfortable with going somewhere by myself. So,
I mean, you have to practice what you're trying to put into
practice.
Into practice, yeah. That's what it is. You got to practice what you're trying to put into practice. And that's a good one. That's something that I did to honor myself, to embrace myself, to love on myself, was go places by myself. Interesting. I had a conversation with somebody today and I said, I try to take a solo trip every year. Some years I don't make it, but that is something that's really important to me to do, is take a solo trip. Just do something alone. I don't have to do it for a long period of time. The last time I did it, I went to Denver and I was gone for just 36 hours. So I don't have to do it for a long time, but I love to just treat myself to something for me. I don't have that same desire and need to be around people like I used to.
Right.
That is and I think that's one of the things that happens when you get to that space of healing, is that you enjoy yourself, right? Because you know yourself, you understand yourself, you can talk to yourself, you can hear from yourself. Like I do all those things. So when I used to hear people say that, I used to be like, talking to yourself, answering yourself, like it sounded strange to me.
Right.
But I get it now. I really do. I know how to sit with myself. I know how to enjoy just my own company.
Right.
I know how to do the things that refuel me, right? So that I can go back out and engage with people. Because, the last 5-6 years, peopling has been a lot for me. I ain't even gonna lie. It's been a lot for me. And people are getting weirder and weirder. So that makes me be less open to peopling.
Right.
But I will say, I do believe I'm a people's person.
Right.
But I'm not the person that I thought I was years ago, before I recognized that I was trying to just fill all my time up so that I didn't see things about myself.
Right.
Or feel things about myself. Or heal things about myself. I'm not running from that anymore, and I'm not trying to escape from that anymore. I'm running towards it. I'm walking towards it. I'm embracing it. I'm feeling it. I'm doing all the things I need to do because it's mine, right? And it's mine to heal. And that's the thing about connecting with other people, is we run to other people thinking they can fix that for us.
That external validation, that external, you're looking for external. And you don't have to look for external. It starts internally.
Yeah. So
then Sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm
Go ahead.
sorry.
Go ahead.
Let me I need my notebook so I can write the stuff down because then I'll be cutting people off.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, that because we're seeking after that external, right? And the thing is that it's about internally, because if we don't fix that internal, everything the negative thoughts we think about ourselves internally, externally will show up. Well, if we don't feel like we're worthy of something good or somebody good for us, then that's what's going to show up. Somebody's not good and good for us because we don't think we're worthy of it.
Yeah. And so, and when you just said we don't think we're worthy of it, you made me think about, I saw a TikTok earlier where this girl said, I believe that people are in the relationships that they deserve. Ooh. Then another girl came back and stitched the video and she says, I don't agree with that. I don't agree that people are in relationships that they deserve. Because what if you're in a relationship based on your trauma and you've accepted somebody that's abusive or narcissistic? You don't deserve to be in that relationship. You might have chosen that relationship, but you don't deserve to be in that relationship. We all deserve happiness and joy and positive connections with people. I think where she kind of missed the mark on that message is it's not what people deserve. It's what people are choosing. Yeah. People are choosing things, but they're choosing things based on a lack of knowledge, a lack of experience and awareness. And those things are what skew our decision making.
I think both of them are correct. I'm gonna tell you why. Because some people, you can tell them they have options, and some people are like, I'm okay with right where I am. And so maybe
because they don't know any better though.
That's maybe not deserve. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, maybe not deserve. It's even
if they have heard something different, right? So think about our own personal journeys. Even there was a point before I got to where I am where I felt it. Like, I don't need to be in this relationship, right? This ain't the right relationship for me. But I stayed in the relationship because I didn't have awareness. Then I didn't have the self-love, right? And then I didn't believe, like I wholeheartedly didn't believe that I could get anything better than that.
Yeah.
Right? And that was my reality at that time. So I think to say just flat out, well, that's on you. Now, yes, some things are on us, right? They are. But I think like there's some empathy there for a person that, because this happens I've seen it happen on both sides for men and for women, where we typically think this only happens for women. It happens for men too, where they don't have the self-esteem or the awareness, or the experience of positive, healthy relationships, and they end up with a narcissistic woman or a woman that's lying and cheating and playing games with them. Yeah. So it can happen on both sides, and I wouldn't necessarily say they deserve it. I would say that they're making choices based on their brokenness, based on their pain, based on what they don't know. And I say, they're going to still make whatever decisions they're going to make. Right. But I don't know. It just felt harsh to me. I don't know.
She must have been mad at somebody, and she was like, that's why you got to, you deserve that relationship.
That's usually how it go, right? They'd be like, I don't care. Man, I don't care you going through that. That's on you. That's on you.
When my ex-husband got married to my cousin's best friend that was part of the I was like, happy birthday, Merry Christmas. Y'all deserve
all yours.
There you go.
That's a whole book, cousin.
I was like, wait, have I shared this? Wait, we're on live. My bad.
That's okay. It's your story to tell. However you want to tell it, it's the truth. Ain't nobody lying about nobody.
Some people deserve exactly what they get in that situation, right? Okay, yeah. I feel like that they just you did
in that situation.
In that situation,
that's true.
You deserve it. Get exactly what you got.
That's true. I think. Yeah, that's true. You getting what you. Yeah, you getting what you deserve, gal. So we end up in these situationships, right? Which is, I guess some of it is a little bit of false companionship and false connection.
It ain't real.
And it ain't real. They affirm real. And so the time that you're spending investing in this false relationship, that's not healthy, that is not
affirming.
Yeah, not affirming. And it's not reciprocal, right? Whether it's you or them, it's not reciprocal at all. That's time for you to invest in yourself.
Yeah.
Your self-care, the healing work that needs to be done.
Right.
This is where you identify things that keep showing up, right? Yeah. So I may have shared iterations of this story before about how I decided that I really needed to get my shit together. And it was just a morning I woke up after crying myself all night, just crying and girl, get your shit together. How do you keep
girl
ending up?
We did this again
in this situation. How do you keep you crying again, Keya? So cried myself to sleep. And I got up the next morning and I just remember saying, that's it. That's it. I can remember it so vividly. I can see where I was standing. I was living in this house that my ex-husband had moved out of. And I was in my bedroom and it was a loft home. So I remember being like, I can't stand all the way up because if I do, I'm going to hit my head on the ceiling. Because the ceiling was low in my bedroom.
Like our Airbnb.
Right, like our Airbnb we had. Just like that. Just like that, cousin. It was just, I'm not even kidding. That house was just like that. So I go downstairs and I'm like, you ain't crying no more. You're not. You're going to get your shit together. I'll never forget. And I remember, like, I got in the shower. I got dressed. I can tell you everything I did that day. I got dressed. I drove to my favorite breakfast place, First Watch, and I took my notebook and pen, and I wrote a poem, and I sat there and I said, this is where it ends. And I wrote the poem that is like my signature piece. Like, this is a piece I've done for many, many years and many, many rooms. It's called I Know Who You Are. I wrote that piece and I remember I ate breakfast. I wrote it and it was the quickest poem I had ever written. And so I went home and I was like, I'm excited for my next journey because what happened yesterday and before, it'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to put my best. It happened again. I didn't cry like that.
It did. You're right.
But it happened again. But it was different. I got with somebody else that wasn't for me, but I didn't respond the same way that I did before. And that's how I knew, Keya, you're onto something. You are doing the work. It is working. But you still you're picking. You're still off, right? You still got some work to do. So that's okay. That's okay. Give yourself grace so you can keep moving towards where you're trying to get to, where you're not having to be like, man, I ain't do that right. I ain't do this right. I'm not going to beat
No.
myself up. I'm not going to talk
'Cause
negatively
you'll get
about
right back into the
myself.
same
I'm just
situation if
going
you do that. Yep.
yeah. So I just kept moving forward, but it was one decision. It was one decision. Sometimes, y'all, you got to make
It ain't even
one
action yet.
decision.
It's not even action yet. It's just a decision.
It's not even
action yet. Don't worry about what next. Just make the decision that this can't happen no more. This has to change.
Mhm.
All you got to do is just say that. And the universe is like, oh, bet, got you. And you'll start seeing things shift. You start seeing yourself shift.
Exactly. And I go back to, I may have said this on here before, but my good friend Rain said years ago, she said, when you move, God moves. When you shift, God shifts. It's all about all about the shift that you do. You have to do it. I can tell you this, Shamika can tell you this, your mama can tell you, your cousin can tell you, your brother can tell you. You have to make the decision. Once you make the decision, I'm telling you, the shift happens. It happens. We're witnesses to this. It happens.
Because I like Keya, like I was crying, like I was pacing my room, like this gotta change. I can't keep doing this over and over again. Like I can't keep, like, what is wrong with me? I was like, what is wrong with you? Why you keep doing the same over and over again and thinking and it was like something has to change. And again, all it took was that thought. And things start to shift. Now, again, I still made the decision, made the choices, but it was different. I was different. I was seeing it different. And that's the one thing too. Even when I was asking, like, I was like, something's got to change. Something's got to be different. And that's how I got into the access consciousness, because I started asking the question, and I went to because I like crystals and stuff. And the lady, and there was something on the flight. I was like, that's for me, like, because I was drawn to it. And it let me know, and that I had a discussion with the lady. She had a thing talking about it, and the thing is that we have to be accountable. We have to hold ourselves accountable for the choices we make. That's the best thing you can know, is that nobody can make you do anything. It's your choice.
That's good.
Like, how amazing is that? Like, how amazing is that? Every mistake you made wasn't nobody else's fault but your choice. So now, because it's yours, you can choose something different.
Yeah. Okay. She said, y'all preaching today. She said, we preaching today, cousin. And what did I say at the beginning? I said, you might want to clutch your phone, your tablet, or your laptop, because we coming with that fire tonight. We coming with it because this is needed, right? Like, I think I probably would have listened if I had this messaging as I was going through this back then, because I didn't hear this type of messaging back then. I didn't hear it when I was going through this. So I would have loved to hear other women, specifically Black women, talk about, how we don't know how to be alone so that we can heal, and how, trauma has put us into relationships with people based off of that trauma. Those are things that I never even heard. I had no clue. I had no understanding of it. And so to know that my decisions, they were my decisions, but I learned them from watching my family. And once I got to a place where I knew better, I made every attempt to do better. Right? Even though that shit looked sloppy at first, and people was like, you ain't changing. You still doing the same thing,
the people that know you, right? You still the same thing.
That be the people that know you. You ain't changed. You doing the same. And I heard that so much. I heard that so much that people were constantly, it was like they didn't want to see me heal. They didn't want to see me grow. They didn't want to see me become better. Because now I'm not the person you met. You want to meet the same broken. You want to be connected to the same broken.
I'm broken. Person. So why would I want you to heal? And now you better than me. Get out of here. You staying with me.
Yeah. But also, that's why you stay connected to other broken people in these situationships, because it's comfortable there. It's familiar
Yep.
there. So you stay in these connections with people and you even get connected with them. Okay, I'm finna say something, y'all. Y'all done heard this before. Trauma
Yes.
bond.
Yep.
Did y'all hear me? I didn't say it too loud, did I?
You got a good microphone?
We got phones in this thing. But we trauma bond. I can't tell you how many people I trauma bonded with.
Man. Or girl, or okay, you know what I did too? I can change them.
Woo!
I can change them.
That one.
I see the potential.
That one.
So I want to like, okay. So trauma bonding is like, this is the trauma, right? You have glasses and this is the trauma. This is how you live life through the trauma. That's all you like. You're only like based off of the trauma. I make choices based off my trauma. And so you have to sit down and be like, wait, I have to work through the trauma. So I got to look at the trauma, face the trauma. And so I don't have to see through it anymore. And so now I can see things and heal and see and see things through a healing lens and not through the trauma lens.
Say it again, cuz I think you just told them something.
You like,
MK say, I can love them through it.
Right, girl. Your love.
How many times I done that shit?
All they need is my love.
They just need my love. They
Their
mama didn't love me. Their daddy didn't love. I'm here to do that. I'm here to do that. Even though I got voids inside of me too,
help you with yours.
I can't even give you. I can't give you what you need because I'm
pouring. Look, my cup empty, but I'm trying to pour into yours with an
that.
empty cup. I'm trying to pour into yours.
I was good for that. I was good for it. Tell them again what trauma bonding is.
Trauma bonding is these glasses are the trauma. This is all you see. You see life through this trauma. So you pick and choose based off of the traumas that you've had. Now, the only way to deal with it, to take these trauma glasses off, is to look at the trauma and work through the trauma and heal through looking at the trauma. So that way you can choose through healing eyes now.
That was a whole word. I don't even think y'all picked that up. I don't think y'all picked it up. MK said y'all in my business.
Listen, girl, we in our
we in our business, okay? Because we talking about our ugly past too now. Come on. we giving our business out too. Man. This is serious.
When you keep on making those choices, it's because you still looking through the trauma.
Man.
The lens of trauma.
That was good, cousin. That was some good shit. Oh, that was good. Shit. I don't even eat neck bones no more. I feel like I just had a pot of neck bones and potatoes. Ooh, that was good. That was good.
Man.
When you looking through them trauma lenses, you hear things from trauma, you see things from trauma, you feel it from the trauma.
That's why you always feel like that's why you feel like somebody's attacking you when they say something.
That's why you meet people that get defensive all the time. You can't tell them nothing. They lack emotional intelligence because everything is, and you know what? That was good, cousin, because you know what I just experienced with that person that was being immature and lacked emotional intelligence. I didn't even think about that. Like, I knew that it was like a bruised ego response. That's why I got that.
Yes.
So I recognized that.
Yes.
But I didn't even think that.
Yes.
See?
Oh, see? Yes.
She was talking to me. She was talking to me from
trauma. Yes.
From trauma.
That's why I got that. He rejected me. She's rejecting me.
Yep. That's where that came from. But and see, that's crazy because what did I say earlier? A lot of things we talk about are not just romantic relationship stuff. Right. It's also friendships or partnerships or whatever. Right. And so I have dealt with that so much from people where I recognize those things in people early. So then I'm left with a decision that has become this phenomenon of people saying, oh, people that ghost people are immature. People that ghost people don't have the capacity to have intelligent conversations with people. That's not true. That's not true. I've had to ghost a lot of people. I ghost a lot of people.
With someone because you cannot have a conversation with people that's looking through here, because you can be like, this is not healthy, and they're like, what are you talking about? You know, fuck you, bitch. If you want to leave, bitch, then you can.
Yeah. So that's why I ghost people, because once I pick up that everything you say and do is coming from this trauma space, not in a judgmental place either. That is the thing people don't be getting. It's not coming from a judgmental place. I recognize it. I've been there before. I remove myself from those situations. I remove myself. I don't do all of that. And that makes people, that triggers people, right? I'm constantly triggering people because I remove myself from it rather than engage. And when you're used to toxicity, you want people to engage with you. You want people to go back and forth with you. You want people to argue with you. You want people to do all this back and forth banter. I don't do it. I do this. So because of that, it triggers you, because it's like, who do you think you are not to argue with me? Who do you think you are not to go back and forth with me? Who do you think? Like,
you know, it was.
You right, Don. Call me Casper the Ghost. I'm gone. I will peace out in a second, a millisecond.
Man,
all I need to do is pay attention. I'm an observer. So if I observe that this is consistent behavior for you, I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Because who you think I care about more, you or me?
Right.
Because guess what I used to do in my people-pleasing days?
Man.
My people-pleasing days was I would neglect myself and I would care about other people.
They were good. Yep.
And I wanted to, what they're not going to like me anymore if I stop talking to them. And they're not going to they're going to turn everybody else against me. And I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. It's real talk, Missy. I don't give a shit. If you don't like me no more, you don't talk to me no more. Them people-pleasing days are long gone.
I used to be intimidated by girl I remember being intimidated by like girls that were loud in school, and so I'd be like, and so while we're talking to my okay, so real quick, my brother had this situation where he had to he was moving out of this apartment with this woman, with this it was a friend of his, but it was owned by his auntie, right? But the auntie had just gotten out of jail, and so she was very volatile. She was very like. And so my brother was like yelling. I never seen my younger brother. I was like, wow, what? And he was like, she won't let me get my stuff. I said, I'll go get it, because he had to go to work. I was like, I'll go get your stuff. He was like, are you sure? Because she's got out of jail for she did some stuff. And I said, I'll call the police. I was like, I'll just call the police and the police can escort. So we in San Bernardino's hood. So we in San Bernardino. And so we sitting with the police, and she pull up. She like, why the fuck you call the police? She going. I go get my other cousin. So I was like, cousin, come with me. But what's funny was what was very, very interesting. This was her, right? This is her and how she responded from trauma. And it was interesting because we stayed right. So she was here. We stayed here. Well, I didn't tell the police that she had gotten out of jail because she was on probation. I didn't tell the police that. In fact, I didn't have the right to go get my other stuff. Like, she could have said no, and I would have had to leave. It's her place. Like, I didn't even have a legal right. I didn't have a legal right to get any of his things. Yeah. So she was going in. When I tell you, she was like going in, and so we were like, and she said, "Why'd you go?" I said, "Well, because it was a little volatile." She's like, now I'm on probation. He was like, "Oh, you on probation? Now I got to check your house anyway." Like, I got her. Like, she because of this and how she responded. Out of trauma. So then her mother's holding her baby, right? And she said, but mama, the baby. And I was like, I said, because I was asking the bigger dude that lived in the house too, like, hey, can I don't know what stuff is Sean stuff. Can you? He was like, I don't know what you want me. And then the mom was like, I don't know why she holding the baby. I don't know why you called the police. They scared of her. They were scared of her. And it was interesting because me and my cousin talked about it later because we were just like this. Like, we weren't scared of her. We didn't give her, like you said, we didn't give her back the energy because it was just no need. Like, there was no need. And it was interesting because after that incident, like, she texted me afterwards and she was like, because the police was arresting her. Like, I think it was just doing that because she was just out of control. So we didn't get the stuff. And she was like, it was weird because she was like talking to police, like going off. And then she was handing me Sean stuff. She's like, is that all? I was like, yeah, thank you. And I got the stuff and put it in the car. And she texted me, she's like, bitch, da, 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 da. And I said, again, I didn't give her back the energy. I said, I didn't tell the police officer what you had. I didn't tell him that you had been in jail. I said, that was something you said. And I said, but it seemed like you're very angry. And if you ever want to talk, I'm here. And she was like, LOL, bitch, I don't need to. But what's interesting is I knew somebody that knew her. Like, they were like, you was the one? I said, yeah. And so she come to find out she said something changed in her after that situation. I didn't give her the same energy. I wasn't afraid of her, and I didn't give her that same aggressive energy. And she didn't know how to respond. I don't think she knew how to respond to that.
Yeah. And you can sometimes kind of help people to make that transition from that. You know, like I said earlier, I said maybe one or two people will hear what we have to say.
Right.
And it may make a difference for them, right? MK already said that we was preaching. You know, she already said we all up in a business. So we might have helped MK. I don't know. But I will say this, that when you decide to heal and do this work,
man,
and you know, one of the reasons why I release people very quickly is because I've worked very hard to get here.
Man.
You know, I've worked very, very hard to get here. And I don't really give a shit about you not liking me anymore because I blocked you or released you or disconnect. I really don't care. And that's an amazing place to be in when you are a previous people pleaser, because that's something that I would care about and I would, be consumed with, well, I'm still talking to people that I really don't feel aligned with anymore, who make me feel like crap because they always making me the brunt of jokes. Their energy tells me that they don't like me. Why am I I don't have the time for that. I don't care more about you than I do about myself.
Not
to
anymore.
Put up with you knowing you don't like me.
Not anymore.
MK said, yes, let me be that one. Y'all definitely helped me tonight. That's what's up.
I doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah.
What else is possible? And again, all you got to do is make the decision.
Choice. Yep.
You don't have to do nothing else. And then once you make the decision, now keep your eyes open for what you're going to require, like what you're going to need. Like as soon as you make the decision, it's like the universe starts working it out. Okay, bet. Okay, you want to change that? Okay, cool. Let me put this person here. Okay, let me put these people here. Listen to them. Okay, cool. And so you'll start getting bits and pieces of stuff to help transition you into something different.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and all you gotta do is sit back and watch. Just make the decision. Sit back and watch, and then you'll be doing the work. And yes, it will be difficult and uncomfortable for a minute because you move into a different beat, right?
It's gonna feel strange at first. It's gonna feel off. It's not gonna be the most comforting thing. We're not gonna lie to you. We're not gonna tell you this is gonna feel good. It is not. It's not going to feel familiar. That's familiarity that you're used to feeling. You don't want that. Right. You're not going to feel it, and you shouldn't be seeking that. You've already been in the familiar place. It hasn't helped. It hasn't changed anything.
Right.
I want to leave you all with an affirmation before Shimeka closes us out. And the affirmation that I have for you all is to say this, write it down. I want partnership, but I will not sacrifice peace. I desire love, but I will not beg for breadcrumbs. I want partnership, but I will not sacrifice peace. To be in partnership, you should have peace. I ain't even gonna lie to you. You know, when people would say things like, oh, you know, it's hard to be in a relationship. And I would say it because that's what people would say, right? It's hard to be in relationships. I wouldn't necessarily use the word hard though. Not in the partnership that I'm in now. I would say we have challenges sometimes. Hard? Mm-mm. Difficult? Mm-mm. Something I don't want to be in? Because I wouldn't be here. This partnership is an extension of who I am. Peace, joy, happiness, love. That's what, if you get yourself into partnership, it should be an extension of you. That means, y'all listening? That means until you get there, don't you dare partner with nobody. Because you're going to take your trauma, your pain, your hurt, and partner with somebody else who may have that. And it's not going to be what you want it to be.
Right.
Do the healing work. Do you have to be completely healed? Hell no. I wasn't completely healed, and I'm still not. But I had the tools. I was doing the work. I was committed to it. So I kept doing it. And then it helped that I got in partnership with somebody that wasn't trauma bonding with me, that also was doing the work themselves and continues to do the work. So don't just be linking up with people to avoid loneliness. Because loneliness and alone is two different things.
That's
know
right.
The difference.
Know the difference.
And get in sync with it.
Yes.
Cousin, you got closing words before you close us out?
Do you have closing words? Hold on. It's your choice. It's your choice. Nobody can make you do anything you do not want to do. And that's the beauty of this whole thing, is that it is up to you to choose something different. And you don't have to. So it's up to you to choose whatever you want to choose. No judgment. And then don't judge yourself either for getting back in the situation. Don't judge yourself, because that makes it worse too. You know, actually celebrate yourself for choosing for you.
Yeah. That's good. I love that. It's your choice. We say that a lot on here.
Yeah.
You know, we share, it's our thoughts, our opinions, our experiences, and then you get to eat the fish and throw away the bones. Whatever doesn't serve you, don't take it. But at the end of the day, you get to decide the journey that you want to be on.
It's
yours.
Good job for choosing. Yes.
All right, cousin, close us out this thing. That was good.
We're going to do 3 deep breaths. Slowly count to 5. So breathe in, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out your mouth, 2, 3, 4, 5. In through your nose, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Breathe out, 2, 3, 4, 5. One more time. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold it. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. We thank you guys for showing up. We thank you for showing up for yourself first. And we just thank you guys. We appreciate the comments. We appreciate you guys' energy. We appreciate you guys' energy. And all of life comes to us with ease. Actually, I want you to say all of life comes to me. So all of life comes to me.
All of life comes to me.
With ease, joy, and glory. How does it get any better than that?
Yes.
Thank you, you guys. Thank you.
How does it get any better than that? I love that.
It's possible.
Yes. All right, you guys, we appreciate you all. Hope you guys took notes. Come back and watch the replay if you want to pick up something. And for those that come back and watch the replay, as always, #replay. Let us know what you think about the podcast. If you haven't subscribed to our YouTube channel, please go out and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share this out with your friends, your family, your loved ones, anybody that you feel would benefit from this. We would appreciate you all. We really want to get to 500 YouTube subscribers by the end of this summer. Y'all gonna make that happen for us? Boom. We know y'all are. We depending on y'all. We love y'all, and we will see you guys next time. Thanks to my amazing husband in the background doing his production work. As always, we love you.
Yay.
Until next time. Peace.
Bye, guys.
Seeing eyes of mine, you see, there are no trees inside of me. In this desert, I can look